just wanted to do a quick video while it's fresh in my mind about blockages, because I'm normally quite positive on my social media, and I talk quite a lot about what the surgeries and my stoma has allowed me to do, which is definitely true, but hey, come on then. But obviously there is a reality that not everything is sunshine and roses. So yeah, I wanted to talk to you about the blockage that I had Tuesday night, which just began as a little bit of pain and obviously increased as the night went on. I mean, I experienced pain quite a lot of the time from eating certain foods anyway, but it tends to pass quite quickly once it's made its way through the intestine. Obviously with the blockage, it didn't make its way through my intestine, and that was the problem. So I was in quite a lot of pain, and it increased over a couple of hours. I think it was about 2 a.m. when I was like, okay, let's attempt to sleep. My partner attempted to stay awake with me. And well, sleep didn't go too well. So I'm used to it kind of passing by the morning, so I thought I'd wait it out. It's not something I'd recommend anybody else to do. I have a really bad issue with hospitals in my head, probably from a few bad experiences that I've had in the past. So I would normally advise somebody to have gone to the hospital already. I did not. Please don't follow my lead. I am a fucking idiot. So I did manage to get a little bit of sleep. I'd taken enough painkillers for it not to be like really, really bad. So I kept nodding off for maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes and then waking back up again with a quick stabbing pain, rearranging myself and going back to sleep. And it was 20 to 7 in the morning when I was like, okay, it's really hurting. Now I was going to go and lay in a hot bath and see if that helps. The night before I'd been doing quite a lot of like tummy massages and drunk a couple of hot drinks anyway. But then I got to a point where I was kind of like, okay, I've put quite a lot of hot drinks in now. I should probably stop. My fear is always that I'm going to start vomiting and what won't go through. So there has to be a point where you know you've definitely had enough intake. So I went to get in the bath, and there was noises and a bit of gurgling and a couple of vibrations, which is normally good news. Things are about to start moving. But the pain got so bad whilst I was in the bath. In my head, if I got in the bath and had a wash and everything, if I needed to go to the hospital, at least I wasn't this greasy mess that I actually was. Now that's a thing that I've always done. I don't want to go to the hospital with greasy hair and stuff. So I got in the bath and I couldn't actually wash my hair. I didn't even wash my face. The pain was quite low down, so every movement of my leg and the lower half of my body caused a lot more pain. So I ended up completely still, being afraid to move. So I pulled myself up, realising that there was no way there was going to be some lying down and sitting up to wash my hair. And it was agony. It was absolute agony. And I thought, right, I'm starting to feel sick now. Maybe that's because I'm too hot. So I got out of the bath, because I did have a moment where I was genuinely like, I'm going to puke in the bath and then I'm going to be covered in puke. So yeah, get out of the bath. And I ended up stuck on the bathroom floor for quite some time, just trying to dry myself. My hair is still really, really greasy at this point, because I'd had a scalp treatment on the night before, which I intended to wash off in the morning, and I'd not done that. I'd wet my hair on the one time that I lie down, and I'm just trying to mop my hair that's dripping all over me. I'm getting really hot, and I managed, it took me a good probably 5 minutes to get off the floor to open the window. So I ended up sat on the toilet leaning over the sink with the window wide open, trying to cool down. I'm still dripping wet at this point. And then I ended up getting back on the floor because it was too uncomfortable to sit around my abdomen. And I was just trying to dry myself because I knew at that point I'm going to have to go to the hospital. This pain is ridiculous. So I'm trying to dry myself off to go and tell my partner who's still sleeping. And I couldn't. I genuinely couldn't do anything. So I thought, I'm just going to have to go in there as I am. And he's going to have to help me get dressed. Well, it didn't help me get dressed because I couldn't do anything for myself. By the time I got in the bedroom, I grabbed a bowl on my way. Then I started vomiting. So I'm telling my partner that I need to go to the hospital. So he's trying to get me dressed so that we can go whilst I'm being sick. And my bag is dripping wet. We're just putting underwear over the top of it. It's, bless him, trying to dab my hair dry. And I'm like, doesn't matter. And he's asking me questions, but I can't think because I was genuinely, at this point, I was in so much pain. My eyes were closed. All I was trying to concentrate on was breathing through the pain. And I'm thinking, oh my God, my intestine is actually going to rupture. This is absolutely ridiculous. What the fuck am I going to do? And he's asking questions and I can't answer them because I can't speak. I am breathing. That's all I'm doing. I am breathing through this pain. What clothes do you want on? I don't care. Just get me to the fucking hospital. Just get me to the hospital. Which is very much, obviously, not me. I don't go to the hospital if I can avoid it. It was horrendous. My body was just involuntary shuddering, tremoring. And I couldn't control anything. I felt so weak, but I couldn't stop shaking and vomiting. So that was good. That was brilliant. So he'd got me dressed and told me that, right, in a minute, when you're ready, we'll go. So he took my bag out and stuff to the car. And I'm leaning over my bowl. And then I thought, I felt something. And lo and behold, there it was. It had started moving. The blockage had shifted. Now, I can't tell you how relieved I am that I didn't have to go to the hospital. I genuinely could have cried with relief. I was so weak. And as soon as the heat had left me, I was freezing. And obviously it was still quite painful for some time as things passed through. But I knew it was on its way through, and that was all that mattered. Because I'd not actually been to sleep, I was trying to wait for everything to pass through so that I could just go back to bed and catch up with some of the sleep that I'd not had. But my stomach had other ideas, so it was just water gushing out. That's all it was, liquid output, bag after bag after bag. So there wasn't really much sleep time. I did get an hour in the afternoon. But my stomach was so sore. Like, moving around was still incredibly difficult. A couple of hours later, we ended up going to the supermarket because obviously our meal plan for the week wasn't suitable for my really sore intestine. So I've gone and got some soups and stuff. Planning a couple of toasties and some pasta, and we'll be well. So gently, but literally all day my stomach was just spitting out liquid, which normally I would assume was dehydration. Doesn't appear to be. I mean, it's still very watery today, and it's still coming out quite fast. And I've done everything that I would normally do for dehydration. So I have some dehydration tablets. I've got a recipe for an oral rehydration solution, which is the St. Mark's oral rehydration solution. That's specifically for people with no colon or malabsorption. Malabsorption. So it's got a bit of an additional salt in it, which is what we need because the colon is gone, which normally absorbs the salt. Got a little bit off track. So yeah, that's where I am today. It's still tender. It's nowhere near as tender as it was yesterday. Got some noodles for dinner and a toasty or some pasta for tea. But I'll probably snack a fair bit as well because just putting big meals in there is just too uncomfortable. So yeah, that's where I'm at today. I am still really tired. I've obviously not caught up with the sleep deficit from the night before. The dogs help. When I crawl back into bed and they all just stick to me and I'm like, God, this is what I need today. Doggy cuddles. So yeah, that's been nice. It was apple skin, in case you're wondering. I actually did put a post on saying I was braving the apple skin. I expected pain, not a blockage. If I'd have expected a blockage, I wouldn't have eaten the bloody skin. So yeah, no more apple skin. Yeah, 6 hours. 6 hours is the recommendation, that you don't wait any longer if you have an ileostomy. 2 hours for a colostomy if you have a blockage before you go to hospital. So please do that. Don't be a fucking idiot. I am an idiot. There's no getting past what's in my brain. So yeah, I hope that was, I don't know, useful, interesting. Don't be me.